Just months before his death, the holy friar who carried the wounds of Christ was known to weep, not just from the pain of his stigmata, but from a deep sorrow for the world. Many of his followers believe he was given terrifying visions of a spiritual darkness that would put the faith of millions to the test. Today, a growing number of people believe those warnings about faith, a great darkness, and technology are unfolding right before our eyes. So, what exactly are these three warnings, and could we be living through them right now? To understand the power of these messages, you first have to understand the man. Francesco Forgione, who the world would come to know as Padre Pio, was a humble Capuchin friar from Pietrelcina, Italy. For 50 years, he bore the stigmata, the 5 sacred wounds of Christ's crucifixion, which bled and caused him immense pain. These wounds were a source of profound mystery and medical curiosity. While it's often said they never healed or got infected, some medical reports from the time did note periods of change, which only adds to the enigma that surrounded him. His entire life seemed to be a tapestry of the supernatural. It was said he could read souls in the confessional, bilocate to be in 2 places at once, and perform miraculous healings that defied any scientific explanation. As he neared the end of his life in 1968, the spiritual tension around him was intense. In those final months, a series of urgent warnings began to circulate, messages believed to have been shared by Padre Pio with his closest friends. Now, it is essential to be clear, the Catholic Church has not officially authenticated these specific final prophecies. Much of what we know comes from oral traditions and unverified writings. Still, millions of faithful believe Padre Pio was given a divine glimpse into the trials of our modern age. These are the warnings that have been whispered down from one generation to the next. The first warning is a prophecy that seems to strike right at the heart of the modern world. This message is often linked to the traditions surrounding Padre Pio, including those of his spiritual mentees, like the Vatican's famous exorcist, Father Gabriele Amorth. According to an interview, Amorth claimed Padre Pio was tormented by the idea of a great apostasy within the Church. He warned of a time when faith would grow cold, not because of violent persecution, but from a slow, creeping indifference. He foresaw that the outward signs of religion would remain. Churches would still stand, beautiful and grand, but the inner fire of true belief would start to flicker out. He prophesied that people would still go to church, but many would do so out of habit or for social connection, not for the profound act of worship. At the heart of this spiritual crisis, he warned, would be a widespread loss of belief in the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist. The sacrament that he saw as the very core of the faith would be treated as just a symbol, and the altars would be abandoned. Many who study his life believe this warning speaks directly to our times. We see declining mass attendance in many parts of the world and a growing secularism that pushes faith to the very edges of society. The debates over core doctrines and the rise of a cafeteria Catholicism where people pick and choose what to believe seems to echo the spiritual emptiness he described. Padre Pio's first warning wasn't about the world ending, but something far more personal and tragic: the end of faith in the hearts of men and women, a hollowing out of belief from the inside, leaving behind nothing but an empty shell. It was a call to wake up before the fire goes out for good. This brings us to what is easily the most famous and chilling prophecy attributed to Padre Pio: the vision of the 3 days of darkness. It's a terrifying image of a divine punishment meant to purify the world. However, this is also where things get highly debated. While the idea is a recurring theme in Catholic mysticism and often linked to Padre Pio, it's crucial to know that credible Catholic sources, including his own Capuchin order, have stated there is no authenticated evidence he ever made this specific prophecy. The connection often comes from second-hand accounts and letters that have been debunked as forgeries. Still, the tradition continues to have a powerful grip on many believers. According to these accounts, Padre Pio foresaw a time of both spiritual and physical darkness that would cover the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. This wouldn't be a normal eclipse, but a thick, supernatural darkness so heavy it would feel like a physical weight. During this time, it is said that the demons of hell would be unleashed, and their terrifying screams would fill the air. The only light and protection would come from blessed candles, which would miraculously stay lit for the faithful, but not for anyone else. The instructions passed down with this prophecy were very specific. Stay inside, seal your doors and windows, and under no circumstances should you look outside. Instead, you were to pray without stopping. This period of terror was meant to be a final, dramatic test, where the faith of those who had prepared would be their only shield. Many people connect this idea to our modern anxieties about war, global instability, and natural disasters. But whether you see it as a literal future event or a powerful metaphor for a time of societal collapse and spiritual trial, the core message is the same. When faced with overwhelming darkness, the only real shelter is a life of grace and unbreakable faith. What's your take on this? Do you think it's a literal prediction for our future? Or is it a powerful spiritual metaphor for a time of great trial the world has to face? Let us know what you think in the comments below. We read every single one. The third warning is one that feels almost impossibly ahead of its time, a message that seems to speak directly to the headlines of the 21st century. Now let's be perfectly clear. There is no credible evidence that Padre Pio ever said a word about artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, or transhumanism. Instead, his followers have interpreted his more general warnings about humanity worshipping its own creations, and see them being fulfilled with terrifying accuracy today. According to this interpretation, Padre Pio cautioned that humanity's pride would lead it down a very dangerous road. He saw a time when science would claim to have all the answers to life's great mysteries, pushing aside the truth of the soul and the existence of God. This warning points to a future where humanity, in its arrogance, would try to become God itself. People would attempt to create life outside the natural order and manipulate the very building blocks of creation. Machines would be built that could think, blurring the line between human and machine until technology itself became a new kind of idol. This interpretation isn't a rejection of science or progress. It's a spiritual warning against turning our own abilities into a false god. It cautions against what happens when human intelligence is separated from divine wisdom. As we stand on the verge of revolutions in artificial intelligence, cloning, and genetic manipulation, this warning feels more relevant than ever. It forces us to ask a deep question. Are we using our God-given talents to serve humanity and honor our Creator? Or are we trying to take God's place and create a future that has no room for anything sacred? Faced with such terrifying ideas, a crisis of faith, days of darkness, and godless technology, it would be easy to give in to despair. But that was never the point. The purpose of these prophetic traditions whether they came directly from Padre Pio or our modern interpretations, was never to cause panic. It was to serve as a divine wake-up call. The real message wasn't fear, but preparation. Padre Pio's entire life was the answer to how to prepare. Whenever he was asked what one should do for the trials ahead, his answer was always grounded in the simple, powerful foundations of the Catholic faith. He constantly pointed people back to the sacraments. He famously called the Rosary his weapon and pleaded with everyone to pray it every day. He spent thousands of hours in the confessional, believing that the sacrament of reconciliation was like a bath for the soul, washing it clean and preparing it for God. And above all, he pointed to the Eucharist, telling the faithful to receive Jesus with a pure heart as their ultimate source of strength and refuge. His instructions weren't about building bunkers, they were about building a fortress of faith inside the soul. He urged people to consecrate their families to the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Immaculate Heart of Mary, to keep holy water in their homes as a shield against evil, and to live in a state of grace, always ready to meet God. This was his true message. The prophecies weren't a curse, but a mercy, a call to turn back to God before it's too late. In the end, Padre Pio's legacy isn't about darkness. It's about an unwavering light. When we look at the three great warnings attributed to him, the spiritual coldness of a faith crisis, the terrifying tradition of the 3 days of darkness, and the modern interpretation of technology as idolatry, we see a map of the challenges our world is facing. But woven through each of these warnings is a powerful thread of hope. On September 23, 1968, after 50 years of suffering, Padre Pio's earthly mission came to an end. In the hours surrounding his death, something extraordinary was reported to have happened. The stigmata, the wounds that had bled for half a century, vanished. Eyewitnesses, including doctors, confirmed that they disappeared without a single scar, which many saw as a final, miraculous sign that his mission of suffering was complete. His life is a reminder that even when we're faced with immense suffering and uncertainty, faith is a light that can't be put out. The darkness he supposedly foresaw isn't meant to be the end of the story. It's meant to be the backdrop against which the light of the faithful can shine its brightest. These trials aren't a sign that God has abandoned us, but an invitation to draw even closer to Him and to become the saints that our time so desperately needs. If this message of faith and preparation resonated with you, please like this video and share it with others who might need to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you won't miss our next exploration into the mysteries of faith.
This book is your beginner's guide to understanding Scripture. Find peace, build relationships, and discover purpose in today's world. Ready to decode the Bible? Find Bible Decoded available on Amazon now.
If this content blesses you and you'd like to support our mission, you can buy me a coffee or give a super thanks. Every contribution helps us create more content to inspire and uplift others. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos.